Nice clean valve chest here. Upside down, remember. No sludge. And I already polished up the gasket surface for the intake and exhaust and the valve cover and deck. And one step I think I know I forgot to show you was bearings. An easy method to check your clearances on sleeve bearings like these, whatever you, I'm not sure what you want to call these exactly. It's called a Plastigauge. It's been in use for 50 years or more. Invented over in England. So I'll demonstrate that. Okay, here's what this stuff looks like. It's plastic precision clearance gauges. The red is 1/1000th to 7/1000ths, and then same values in millimeters. British made. And here's what it actually looks like. Little plastic little stringy things. They're actually like waxy, but I'll show you how that works. And then here's your actual gauge. Alright, we're gonna check out the main bearings. 1, 2, 3, and see what the clearances are. Everything on here is dry, so I'm not going to rotate the crankshaft or anything, but I'll show you how about to go about doing that. Okay, the first thing I do is I put a little bit of grease down on each bearing journal, just to hold the little pieces of gauge in place. Okay, and you cut a little gauge to length along the width of the whole journal. You try to get it to run as parallel with the journal as you can. It's off a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, I got the bearing caps on there now, and we'll torque each one of those down to spec, which in this case is 70 foot-pounds, and we'll let them sit for 30 seconds and pull them off and check them. Now once you've torqued these, or actually once the bearing caps are on there at all, you can't rotate the part at all. Don't rotate the crankshaft or connecting rod or move anything that you happen to be using this on to skew the results. Okay, now that they're all torqued down, it's how to pull them back off. And use our little paper gauge to check and see what our clearances are. Okay, pull our caps off. See, there's a little bit of oil left in that one. But that's what we're left with. then all you do is take your little paper gauge here and match up the width of this line from 1,000th to 7,000ths and find out which one best matches the width of the gauge. This looks like about 2.5 thousandths for the first main bearing. About the same on the second main bearing. And looks like the third bearing a little bit more wear, about 3 thousandths. Okay. Well, now that we know that, we can figure out if we are in spec or not. Alright, well, according to the technical manual for this engine, the clearance for the bearing to bearing journal, the wear limit is 2/1000 of an inch, and we are 1/2 thousandth over on the first and the second main bearing, and a full 1,000th over on the rear main bearing. So it looks like this engine is going to need new main bearings. I measured the crankshaft, and these bearings are already 10 thousandths undersized, so the crank's been ground some point in its life. Interestingly enough, the rod bearings are 20 thousandths undersized, so, but those bearing clearances are still in spec, so no problems there. But a new set of mains, 10,000 undersize, will be in order. The wear is in the bearings and not in the crankshaft. I've already checked that, and it's not out of round, so that's good. But I suppose if it was my engine, if I was going to keep this engine, I probably wouldn't care about the 1/2 thousandth of the 1,000th. It wouldn't see that much use, so it really wouldn't matter too much. But since I plan on selling this engine and compressor once this is all done, I figure, you know, might as well do it right for somebody. So that's that. But this stuff comes off pretty easy. It's like I said, it feels like candle wax when you try to scrape it off. If you use like a WD-40 or something, or like a penetrant, or like a nut and bolt loosener solvent or something, it wipes off pretty easily. But pretty neat stuff. It's handy when you don't, if your engine is still in the machine or still in a car, where you can just drop the oil pan and you can check the clearances all from underneath without pulling the whole thing apart. Trying to get a micrometer up in there and checking all the clearances be difficult. But with this stuff, you just pop the cap off, rod cap or bearing cap, main cap, and put it back on. Pretty much tells you everything you need to know about it. So that's it for that.